The graphics still hold up, man.
I
They look
know.
good.
I know. The motion caption on this is just so good.
Hmm.
Like it's giving you just a sense of like their life. You can tell that
Hmm.
he's overworked. He does so much.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a brief little like insight of what's happening. And just
Hmm.
doesn't that suck that it happens on his birthday? You really think about that?
But don't ruin it, man. Maybe, maybe the people listening to us don't know what to expect. Shame on
Well,
you if you don't know what's
yes,
going to happen. This game
yeah,
has been out for a long time.
yes. You definitely don't want to be hearing
But,
us.
but yeah, I agree. Like that does suck that it happened on his birthday.
Yeah, I love that. Just plays a little joke on her. That's great. It's one of the things that I like about that is that it just kind of gives you that obviously with having a child, you have that unrelenting like love that you have for this thing that
Hmm.
you're going to have to protect. And it's just you do everything you can. But I love this part right here. This always reminds me of this when he pulls her hair back that's coming on her forehead. I
Hmm.
love that they even put that in there. Small little things
That's
like
a
that.
nice scene. Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've done stuff like that, like when you're putting your kids to bed, you do little things like that. It's
Hmm.
that extension of that love that you have for them.
Yeah, you can definitely see the affection that he has for his
Yeah,
daughter, and
and how
Dawn
appropriate
of
that
the Wolf.
yeah. Look at the pictures too, right above her nightstand. That's the
Yeah, yeah.
picture that he holds that Tommy actually gets. So at some
Oh
point,
wow,
Tommy comes back to the house and gets
that's
that.
cool.
So this is kind of one of the things about when I'm actually playing games like this. I look at
Hmm.
everything. I try to make a
Hmm.
point to stop and look at the walls, look at everything because it's just these things that they're tailor making it for you to pay attention, and these rooms feel lived in.
I do that too. Like, I always have to check the mirror. I'm like, how is it going to look when I look in the mirror? Is it going to look
Right,
silly, or
right.
how do they do with that? Uh,
Or is the character invisible?
yeah,
Yeah. I think back to this and I'm just thinking, man, what if there were scenes where Joel actually comes back to his house and sees
mm.
all this?
That'd be tough, man. Especially his daughter's room.
Yeah. Like that would have been like heart wrenching if you would have like
Yeah.
if they had a scene like that.
Hmm. They should have included it in there though. That would have
I
been
know.
nice.
I love and that's another thing that the notes that you end up picking up throughout the game
Yeah,
all are handwritten. I love that.
that's
Love
cool.
that.
It adds to the aesthetic of the world. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it makes it more believable.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at that.
And yeah, it's
That
small little
painting.
things. It's small little things that you kind of don't notice. But even this part here, where you don't really know what's going on, but the
Hmm.
game is kind of guiding you with a little subtlety of like light. Like one
Hmm.
thing direction for players, they give you a little bit. So that room, in the main room, his dad's room, you kind of don't know where to go right now. You're kind of
Hmm.
exploring, but the game is guiding you into that room because a little bit of light is coming out from that door because it's a little cracked.
Hmm. That's a nice subtle way to guide you, but like not make it too obvious.
Right, exactly. See, a mysterious infection.
Oh, wow.
3,000%
Increase
increase.
to the mist. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if I looked at that last time. Last time I played
What?
this.
Oh my gosh, man! I look at everything.
You were not kidding, dude.
No, I'm definitely not.
Or maybe just, I noticed more just because I'm not playing it. Like, I don't
Yeah,
remember if I went to
yeah,
that bathroom, but
yeah, maybe. And see, that's the thing too, is you can simply just go straight through this. Like you don't even have to see this scene right here. You don't
yeah.
have to actually go into that room. You can go straight downstairs. But if you go downstairs, you can't come back up. Those are things that I noticed that you can't
Mm.
that they take away from you. And such
Mm.
a great way to intro you to what's happening, and then
Yeah.
it corresponds to what happens outside.
Hmm. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. But also too, they're so clever in this in that they're giving you the controls of the game
Hmm.
while it's actually happening. They're giving you this is a tutorial, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like press this button to do this, press this to crouch. It's guiding you in the most immersive way possible without it make it feel like you're dumping all this information to you.
Do you like it how they did it like this as opposed to just having a cinematic intro
Yes.
where you
Yes.
can't control Ellie?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I like this too.
Well, like
Like it makes
Sarah,
it more immersive.
even Sarah, like this part right here, like you're not even playing as Joel. Like you don't know if you're gonna play. You obviously you kind of know that you play as Joel, but
Yeah.
this is also giving you this information that like, hey, it's gonna switch characters on you, and you're gonna end up playing as Ellie, and you have no idea about that. And when they
Oh,
turn that, that's
yeah.
so cool.
I keep saying Ellie. What's this? What's this
Sarah,
girl's name?
Sarah,
Sarah. Sarah.
Sarah.
I
Yeah,
kept calling her Ellie. My bad.
it's okay. It's
Sorry,
kind of
Sarah.
she becomes kind of his daughter, but not really. Yeah, I wish they would have had this part where you can be able to where Joe comes back. I know it doesn't seem like it would lend itself to any kind of real purpose other than
Mhm.
giving you all that where he comes in and he's sad,
It would
but
be an
it's like
emotional scene.
it.
It'd be a
Yeah,
very emotional scene.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Wow, look at that phone. It's a huge phone.
I know it's so awesome. You got to charge that. It's at 35%.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. So,
My phone at 100%, just in case if the electricity cuts out or if there's
because
a
you never
zombie
know.
apocalypse. Like you never know. You never
You
know what's
never
gonna
know.
happen.
You never know, man. Yeah, man, I like to explore into everything, but just this part alone, where the first zombie goes through the actual window, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this back over, but I want to show you. Like, I'll let this. We'll go this through one through scene to the very end, and then we'll go back and actually pause the stuff and go into scenes that we want to talk about. But
Mhm.
pay attention to when the infected goes through the window when it hits the window once and then goes through it again, pay attention to how he falls because it feels like there's a real weight to it. And how they did
Hmm.
this I don't know how they motion captioned that.
Hmm.
Jeez. Watch this part. Just pay attention to how he hits through the window.
Oh wow.
God, that was scary. I know. I know. And her just reaction, like she's obviously never seen anything like this.
Hmm. He's freaking out too, but
I
he's
know.
being strong for his daughter.
Yeah.
Excuse.
And that's another thing. They could have kept you right in this cinematic scene right here and take the
Yeah.
control away from you. But they give you the ability to keep panning around, and the character moves around with it. Keeps
Yeah, I
you
like that.
intense because you don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
You're following her because you don't know what's going on either.
Right.
These parts always scare me in real life of like what happens in an event where you don't know what you're doing, you're just trying to get away. Like that always scares me.
Like they're just still figuring out what's going on and
Exactly.
where they're gonna go. And
Exactly.
I like the third person view.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
like being able to see the character, like as opposed to if they try to make this game in first person view. You know
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that would work. It wouldn't blend itself
Yeah.
to it because you need to see the character actually move. You need
Yes.
to do all that. See, that's also a good question too. She's like, "Are we sick?"
Hmm.
Like, how do you know that? I love this where he just stops. He's like, "No, don't stop." I love that. Keep driving.
Wow.
What would you do? I mean, would you stop for them? Would you help? Exactly.
And I would
Exactly.
want to,
Exactly.
but if
If,
you
if
ran
obviously
into,
Joel knows what's happening. He knows enough to like just stay focused on what we're doing. Don't
yeah.
detour.
Well, he knows that his neighbor turned crazy too.
Yeah, watch this.
So
Watch this.
it's
Watch where you see one of them go right towards that person in front in the car, and they're coming out of the hospital, dude. How scary is that?
wow.
And even like when that one rams right through the actual hits the window, you see the little bit of blood. Yeah, so scary.
Ooh.
And just how intense all of this happens, where
Yeah.
they just need to get out.
Very intense.
Yeah. Jeez.
Look at all that blood,
I
blood splatter in
know.
the background.
I know. You know, those quick time events and stuff like that, I had no problem with this in this game because they used it, sparingly, but it made sense every time they used that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about QuickTime events, like what your thoughts were in general, but
I
you're one
normally
step
don't
ahead of
like
me.
I normally don't like them, but in something like this, it works.
Hmm.
See the look on his face, man, right there. He's like, "What is happening?" Like he just hit somebody
With a
with a
brick.
center block.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you got to get out of here. See, all of this could have just been a cutscene.
Hmm.
And in this part where you have to keep moving because if you stop, they'll get you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did actually do that. I wanted to see if you can go back, and you can't.
That's cool.
Look at that, and the blood comes down from the body. Oh, it's so creepy.
You're like running away. Nice, I like that. At the same time.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, you can't really pause. Coming out of the building, jeez. Like it's all just happening so fast, and it feels like you don't know what's happening, but it's all leading you to one direction, and
Right.
you don't realize it, but it is.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
And if you miss this part right here, you'll get hit too.
Dang.
Yeah, I love this right here where they're coming through. They come through the actual fence.
It looked like he scratched her right there.
Kind of. But watch this part right here where they go through this little part of the alley. You see them like peeling through